What's up, everyone? Welcome back to Prod.cast. I'm Andric.
I'm Basil.
And I'm SK.
And today we're going to be doing a spoiler review of MCU's new movie, Spider-Man No Way Home. Be warned, this is going to be spoiler full, not free, spoiler full. So watch at your own risk. If you haven't watched it yet and you don't want any spoilers, which we strongly advise you not to, watch this without watching the movie first. Please put this movie on your watch list on YouTube and then come back later, or on Spotify, then come back later and listen to our thoughts. So we are literally filming and reacting to this and doing the review on the same day when we watch, and we are watching it on the 15th of December in Singapore, which is actually a 1 day early preview. It's not exactly the media preview.
It's the first screening of the day though.
It's the first official screening in Singapore and
the public screening, yeah.
Island-wide, and we were lucky enough to get the tickets 1 day early, and this podcast and videocast is going to be out publicly on YouTube on 16, 9 a.m. 9 or 10 a.m.
Ooh.
Yeah,
wow,
so I am going to edit this overnight tonight, right?
Yeah.
So now that introductions are out of the way, guys, what did you think of the movie?
Dude, it's 6 stars, man. Out of 5.
The only star that's missing is the final Sinister 6.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
I mean, shall we just talk about what we didn't like about the movie first? Get it out of the way, then we can geek out.
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
I agree.
Why don't you guys go first? I haven't had enough time to think about what I didn't like yet.
Okay, number one, as you mentioned, the lack of a proper Sinister 6. Like, I mean,
That's the closest we got.
I didn't watch Venom. I didn't watch either Venom movie, but I saw the post-credit sequence of Venom 2.
Right.
And it was very clear that Tom Hardy's Venom was going to go into the MCU. And end up at that moment in the Spider-Man movie, in Spider-Man Far From Home, at the start of Spider-Man No Way Home. But unfortunately, he wasn't part of the collection of 6 villains that appeared in the film.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't part of the group. So I think that was one of the letdowns for me. Yeah.
He's just there to set up the MCU version of this Venom.
Yeah. So in case you guys have no idea what I'm talking about, if you've already watched the movie at this point, I'm pretty sure you'll know. Tom Hardy showed up as his Venom character and his Eddie Brock character in one of the secret endings of the film.
Yeah.
After the first credits.
Yeah, the mid-credit scene.
The mid-credits scene.
Yeah, correct.
Right. So given that we are obviously a little bit down that we don't have the full Sinister 6, even though this time we got really close to it, Venom aside, who would you hope would have filled the final seat? For me, it would have been Vulture.
Well, maybe not Vulture, but I was quite like, didn't take anything away from the whole movie, but I wish they would have just shown a shot of Vulture reacting to the Spider-Man news.
Sure.
In prison.
Sure.
Yeah. I assume he's still in prison now.
Yeah.
Probably, because we haven't got to the Morbius movie yet.
Yeah. So
we don't know when.
Yeah, we don't know when that is even set. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I just wish they had a shot of Michael Keaton like just watching the TV in the prison canteen or something like that. Yeah.
That would be
nice.
A really cool shot.
Yeah. I just find that it's a bit pity. I mean, I was hoping for the Dane DeHaan character, the Dane DeHaan Green Goblin.
Dane DeHaan.
Yeah.
Oh, Dane DeHaan.
Dane DeHaan was Hobgoblin.
The Harry.
No,
Harry Osborn.
Harry Osborn
from
Green Goblin.
From the Amazing Spider-Man.
Yeah. I feel that
but wasn't he Hobgoblin instead of Green Goblin?
No, he was actually green.
He was Green Goblin.
He was Green Goblin.
Yeah, he was Green Goblin.
Yeah.
If I recall.
Or the who's the actor who was playing
James Franco.
No. James Franco is definitely not going to come in. The Rhino. Yeah.
Oh, the Rhino, the Russian dude.
What's the name?
Paul
Giamatti.
Huh?
Is it Paul Giamatti?
Paul Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti.
Well, at least they did mention him.
He was name dropped lah.
Yeah, he was name dropped because to me it's like he was the most underwhelming among all the villains, and I feel that he should have showed up just to redeem.
He just looked like he was just a throwaway thug that happened to get like a super suit.
Yeah, but to me it's like because one of the things that I feel that they did well is they actually redeem every single villain, especially the Amazing Spider-Man villains. Like particularly for Electro at the point of time, I hated the way that they portray him. But this time they really redeem his character very well. So it made me feel that if we can actually have him, especially him or either him or Din Dehan, who really have the least screen time of them all, to really showcase what they can do, then I feel that it really makes the show even better in a way.
Okay.
Yeah. But for me, one of the thing I think it's just only a very minor nitpick. I shared with you guys just now, which is basically, when Tobey Maguire's Peter Parker shows up in front of the Doc Ock's character.
Right.
Yeah, and then the one famous phrase was missed. Brilliant but lazy. I feel so sad about that. Yeah, that was something
Yeah. I mean, they did do a lot of callbacks to with the exact same lines to the old with the old movie. So I guess that's one of those that they missed, lah.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What else do you guys want to share?
Okay. I wish they at least gave us a glimpse of the Baxter Building.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Or even the X Mansion.
Right. I think it's too early for the X Mansion, but maybe a glimpse of the Baxter Building. But for all we know, it was there. We just didn't see it.
Yeah, correct.
I mean, deserves a second, third, fourth rewatch, whatever.
Like if it really was in there, I think it would have showed up during Doctor Strange's Mirror World.
The visions.
Right.
Yeah. Maybe.
When he was throwing Peter into the Mirror World, probably it was in there somewhere.
Yeah.
If
I
it
guess
was
that's the
even in
best. I guess that's the best place to throw any
Easter eggs.
Easter eggs. Yeah.
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 Okay. Anything else? Okay. I mean, obviously this movie review is not going to be as structured as the Shang-Chi one because we don't even have time to structure it yet.
Yeah.
We
Don't even
watched
have time
it
to digest.
like 3 hours ago.
Has it really been 3 hours?
It's been 3 hours, man.
Yeah.
We finished at 6:30. It's 9:30 now.
Oh my god!
Almost 9:30. So
we
it's
had
almost
dinner. We took a commute over here. Yeah. So
Wow.
we don't have time to structure how we are gonna go through the review, but we'll just say whatever comes to mind because it's supposed to be fun anyway.
Wow.
Okay, I'm gonna get through a few of the things that I say, then you guys chime in, alright?
Yeah.
Sure.
I think one of the things that immediately stood out to me that I am very excited to look forward to is Ned Leeds.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Okay, I don't know if you guys know.
Right.
He's Hobgoblin.
Can you not take my punchline away?
Okay. Sorry.
But yes, Ned Leeds, in the comic book version that he is Peter Parker's best friend instead of Harry Osborn, he is the third Hobgoblin.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
And yellow is typically his color.
Right.
And his version of Hobgoblin likes to use a crossbow.
Right.
Oh,
Okay. They
So-
showed the crossbow and then they showed the cape.
Yes.
And then they
The cape
mentioned
not really, but his school.
but the cape is
the jacket.
is a part of the Hobgoblin character.
Right.
Yeah,
And then
correct.
they showed they had the whole like, oh, I'm not gonna kill you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there was a
Okay.
lot of foreshadowing
Yeah,
that Ned Leeds is probably going to be one of the villains in the future. And
Yeah.
Yeah.
if anything, even prior to going to the movie, I watched a couple of interviews on YouTube. The actor, I forgot what's his name, something Batalon. He's actually slimming down.
Jacob.
Jacob
Okay.
Batalon.
Oh yeah. I
Yeah.
noticed.
Yeah.
I noticed that he lost
He lost a
a
bit,
bit
of
of
weight.
weight. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I mean, having this movie take place immediately after Far From Home, right? It's a bit, but whatever lah. It's a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm
Yeah.
kind of excited to see that because that's gonna be another tragedy that will happen to Peter that will tap at his heart.
Yeah, and funny like imagine maybe that will be the way that will be how they find some way to make everybody remember. Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah.
I think that by putting him in a position whereby he has forgotten Peter Parker, it helps because they may push him in that direction. Because in a way that you imagine right now, he didn't know about who Peter Parker is or Spider-Man is. The likelihood is there might be something that will cause him to become the villain that he was supposed to be. So in a way,
Yeah.
but we wouldn't know.
And all the more because the fact that Ned cannot remember Peter as Spider-Man and his best friend, it's easy for him to turn on him if he ever becomes the villain.
Yeah.
But it's not so easy for Peter
Peter to
because
fight
he
him.
remembers
Yeah.
Ned
Yeah.
as
Yeah,
his best
correct.
friend. So
Yeah.
it'll be really hard for him to fight him, and that will
Yeah.
be a very interesting emotional battle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because even considering the whole Toby and James Franco friendship and rivalry, even at the end, I kind of like I wasn't into that. Like it did not make me believe that they were friends at all. But right now, I genuinely believe that even the actors, Tom and Jacob are actual friends in life, and they hang out like every day.
Yeah.
So, all right. The next thing that obviously caught my eye, and everyone else's, is also one of the rumors that have been floating around out there for quite a while, which is Charlie Cox.
Yeah.
Right. Charlie Cox.
So he's confirmed.
Yeah. So Charlie Cox is confirmed to be part of the MCU, not a standalone Marvel series that is outside of the MCU that's not canon. Charlie Cox as Daredevil, or rather Matt Murdock, is now canon, with sporting a shorter haircut, but still the same shades and everything. And he appeared just for a quick while.
Yeah.
He even showed off a bit of his instinct skills. Right? So that was really cool.
That was cool. Yeah.
So while I was excited at that, my question is, are they going to include the rest of the Defenders? Because I'm not a fan of the other two. I'm not a fan of Luke Cage and especially Iron Fist. Iron Fist is just disappointing.
Actually,
now that we have Shang-Chi, I don't think we need Iron Fist.
Actually, any one of you actually watched Hawkeye, the series yet?
No.
I mean, I'm still watching. Like,
No.
Yeah, there was a... Okay, don't mind me spoiling or bring off topic. Like, there's a rumor.
Ask me if you want.
Yeah, you want to?
I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a rumor that Kingpin is showing up with this particular cameo by Charlie Cox, right? Yeah, it's 100.
Nice.
Yeah, I think the likelihood that because they have been foreshadowing
Nice.
Kingpin in the show throughout, so I think that they are going to have that revelation soon.
No, not necessarily. Because yes, Charlie Cox as Matt Murdock / Daredevil is confirmed. The same actor, I can't remember his name now, as Kingpin is also likely confirmed. If not, we'll know in a couple of weeks' time.
Yeah, correct.
But does not necessarily mean they will bring in the other actors from Jessica Cage, from Jessica something
Jones,
from Luke Cage and from Iron Fist. Because yes, technically they did star in the Defenders, but Kingpin did not cross over to the Defenders. Yeah. So I don't know. It's not a for sure thing that we'll see the rest of the Defenders, or at least the same actors. Because if they are all in, that means likely John Bernthal is also coming back as the Punisher.
Yeah.
So it will be interesting to see Spider-Man and Daredevil team up someday, lah.
Yeah, I mean it's not really difficult to so-called include all of them into their universe, ma. Yeah.
They are street level heroes.
Correct.
Yeah, but the likelihood is they are just going to be just minor cameos.
Yeah,
for now.
It's okay.
Yeah.
For now.
That's fine.
All right, then a few of the other things that I noticed, like in the Wizard Dungeon with Spider-Man, Strange, and the Spidey villains, like after all 5 of them were there, I don't know why, but maybe it's because it's all Spider-Man characters. I felt that Doctor Strange was really out of place.
Yeah, I felt that way.
It was really didn't seem like part of the group, even though technically him and Tom Holland Spider-Man are both from the MCU universe.
Well,
MCU.
Technically, Doctor Strange isn't really part of the group. It was just like he's a secondary character in this.
Yeah.
And
He only appeared for like the first part, and then a little bit in the middle. And he just jumped in randomly, and then he appeared at the end suddenly.
Yeah, he's almost like just
and
show
that's
up.
about it.
Yeah, he just almost like show, and he didn't technically even like having a team up fight against.
Yeah, he didn't even fight any of the villains, right?
Yeah, he
If I
didn't.
recall
No.
correctly, yeah.
He briefly restrained Green Goblin, but that was it. After that, he was just trying to fix the ribs in the.
Yeah. That's all.
Yeah.
So nothing.
Yeah, he was
much.
just there to fulfill the mystical element. Like the question, I guess the question was, how are we going to bring the other Spider-Man in? And then the easiest answer was Doctor Strange and the multiverse.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
And in the notes that I have, that I've frantically put together in the last 3 hours, is at the end where Holland Peter Parker decided not to tell MJ what he wanted to do, was the point that I felt that he really grew into a man. Like he just had a very manly feel about him.
Yeah.
At least to me.
Yeah, I think obviously he's motivated by Aunt May's death.
And the scene where he opened the door to his own place is so heartbreaking.
Yeah.
It's so heartbreaking. I mean, when I watched that and I immediately reminisced about all the other movies that Tom Holland and Aunt May was in, and he's always, I mean,
he always had her.
he always had a loving environment, not
Correct,
just her.
correct,
He had
correct.
Happy, he had
Yeah.
Tony, he
Yeah.
had his
He had
friends.
everybody
Yes.
lah, basically.
Yeah,
Now
but-
he has nobody.
But now he opened the door and it's just him.
Yeah,
He's
And you
almost-
can really feel the loneliness.
yeah.
yeah.
He's almost like officially
Yeah.
become the Peter Parker that we love.
But
as
it's,
we know.
it's just like the lizard said, right? Whatever you do, there are consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's wow.
On the side note, right? Do you notice that the Aunt May's funerals or the graveyard scene, right, is a callback to the Amazing Spider-Man, and then the scene where Tom Holland actually returned to the room or went to the rented room is like a callback to the Tobey Maguire Spider-Man. Like even the way that the lightings were shown, it
Right,
felt so
I'll
much
have to
like.
go back and see because I
Yeah.
haven't seen those movies in
Yeah.
a while. But you just saw them.
Yeah, but I disagree lah. So I didn't want to.
Okay. No, I just feel that the kind of like lightings and the way that even Tom Holland show up in a way, it felt like, you know, the final scene of Amazing Spider-Man where he was there when Gwen Stacy's grave was around and then he was sitting there, that kind of feel and
Right.
that kind of imagery. Then when the moment Tom Holland opened up his door, it was almost like, okay, that's Spider-Man, Tobey Maguire Spider-Man's rented room scene.
Right.
To me, that was how I feel.
I see.
Yeah. It was almost like a
But
callback.
in the original Tobey Maguire's trilogy, we didn't actually see him go into his room for the first time, right? He just has the room, lor.
Yeah,
from the
no,
second
as
movie
in when he
onwards.
opened up the room and before he even looked at the interior of the room, so he was near the door. So there were quite a few scenes of Tobey Maguire near the doorway. So that feel was there.
I think for me personally, I don't know if I will chalk it up to an homage or a callback. I would say it's just a coincidence, lah.
I mean, there's only so many ways you can show an empty room and a
Exactly.
grave.
Okay.
I mean
Yeah.
that, or rather that there's only so many ways you can show someone grieving and moving on.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Especially in that case.
Yeah.
Maybe.
But I guess it is in some way a shadowing or a mirror to all the different Spider-Mans throughout the multiverse.
Yeah.
That no matter who they are, no matter what are the sequences, they go through more or less the same thing.
Yeah, there were a lot of these kind of references. Like, for example, the lizard going into the high school lab.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was one.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And it was not Andrew Garfield.
yeah, it was not.
that went back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else?
Let me.
I want to talk about the final spoiler last.
Right.
Mm.
Like,
Yeah,
like the
correct.
biggest one, obviously.
Right.
Gosh.
What else?
what else,
Let me think.
If you have nothing, then I have one more to add.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
For me, I still haven't come quite decided what my favorite scene or favorite right, but my favorite twist of the movie that I definitely did not see coming, because this movie is so hype for so long, right?
Yeah.
And there have been so many fan theories, and I would dare say most of them are true. But there has one that I did not see coming, was not even rumored, which is I did not foresee Aunt May doing the Uncle Ben role.
Oh,
yeah.
right.
Did not foresee that at all.
Right.
And we talked about this in the car, that how Marvel movies really like to make us wait for classic lines.
Yeah.
Like we have
Yeah.
like we had to literally wait 10 years or rather 21 movies
Yeah.
just to hear Captain America say Avengers Assemble.
Yeah.
We had to wait for 3 Spider-Man solo films just to hear somebody say with great power comes great blah blah blah. That one,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But I did not see it coming that it's going to be Aunt May. And come to think of it, even from the first Spider-Man film, nobody actually established that Aunt May was attached or even married to begin with.
Yeah, correct.
Right?
I cannot remember. I'm sure I recall that there was an Uncle Ben, but then it was just a throwaway line.
Yeah.
It was just a throwaway line.
Yeah,
If I recall correctly, because I feel like with this Spider-Man, right, it was already established that Ben died long ago, because Ben is supposed to be Peter's direct uncle. May is the one that married into the family, right?
Yeah, correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So there had to be an Uncle Ben,
Yeah.
but maybe he died too early for him to have an impact
Okay.
on Peter.
Okay.
Yeah.
And there was a huge running gag throughout the whole, like, Tom Holland's Spider-Man is like, you know, his Uncle Ben is just Tony Stark.
Because correct. Ben Parker is
In the MCU, his uncle, his father role is Tony instead of Ben.
no, as in like Ben Parker is definitely his paternal uncle.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, because May's surname is May Riley.
Oh yeah, correct.
That's
correct,
why
correct.
there was the Ben Riley character before.
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
Me right, yeah,
Yeah,
correct,
yeah,
correct.
the Scarlet Spider.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was a shock that I didn't see coming, and I kind of like it actually because it paid off. I mean, that scene was already heartbreaking enough. I actually almost felt like tearing for real, because I mean the shock factor that it was that the line was delivered by Anmei and she's actually dying. I haven't even got over that yet, but
Yeah.
it paid off immediately when he met the other two and they were exchanging their stories and whose death impacted them the most. Which is all true, like for Andrew is fuck, we just give the spoiler away.
Well, it's a
Anyway.
spoiler review.
Yeah,
So.
Well, yeah. So for Andrew, it was obviously losing Gwen because that scene was equally heartbreaking.
Correct.
Yes, correct.
For Toby, it was losing Uncle Ben, and
Yes.
for Tom, it was losing Anmei.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in all three renditions of Spider-Man, he has lost three different people that he loves.
Yeah.
Or
Correct.
he cares a lot.
So
Correct.
it's so painful.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. I really like when Andrew saved MJ.
Oh yeah.
It was parallel to that scene where he
It
failed
was
to
a-
save Gwen Stacy.
It was a really good redemption arc.
And I think maybe he's not the best actor of the three,
yes.
but in that scene when you saw him tearing, it was like,
Yeah.
oh,
Yep.
that scene was perfect, really
Yeah.
perfect. You can see in his eyes when he saw her falling, he was like, I'm not gonna let this happen again.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I hated that scene in Amazing Spider-Man 2. I hated it.
Hated what scene?
The Gwen's death. Like, no matter how much
Why did you hate it?
I don't know. I just think that it was a bit false in a way, but also at the same time, that fail. I never liked that death in the original comic to begin with. Like,
Because
I just don't like that portion. Like, to me, it was just very
why? I want to learn why.
no. To me, it's like too dark for me at that time.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, to me, I felt that I can feel the pain. I just don't like to look at that scene. And then when Gwen really died in the Amazing Spider-Man 2, I was like,
I mean, a lot of Spider-Man villains do very personal things to
yeah,
him,
yeah.
because
But this was
most of his villains know who he is.
yeah, but the moment that scene came out, and not to mention it wasn't earned in the movie. Yeah, it wasn't technically wasn't earned. It's like all of a sudden Green Goblin show up and then just grab her.
Yeah, the
It
Green
wasn't
Goblin was a bit forced
Yeah, so it was like
for
yeah.
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
Yeah, so it wasn't earned, but that scene really, I felt that that one scene that Andrew Garfield did in here redeemed that whole entire scene. Like, wow, that's powerful enough. And and also at the same time, I was disliking the fact that after Gwen's death, like he got over so fast. If you notice in the ending,
Well, you don't know how long time had passed since.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
But-
think it wasn't.
it wasn't established.
It
enough.
wasn't established how long
but
time had passed.
So it was almost like, wow, you got over pretty quick.
He didn't actually get over it. When the three Peters met for the first time, when he was telling Kisa the story, he said he went dark and he actually stopped pulling punches. So
Yeah.
assuming that he it would have been a while and he's actually gone rogue for a little bit.
Yeah,
Which is something that I really
So-
appreciate this show
So
a
I
lot.
wouldn't call that getting over. If anything, I'll call that him going deeper
No,
emotionally.
no, as in what I felt that was you didn't see that portions in the Amazing Spider-Man 2 because it ended with that gutter scene.
Well, okay. Speaking of
Yeah.
time,
Mm.
I think it's very interesting to note when each of the characters came from their respective universes.
Mm.
So apparently, it feels like all the villains came from the time just before they died in the original universe.
Some.
But the Spider-Man had presumably been active since then.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they came from present day.
Mm.
Yeah, because it feels like that to me.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah, because you see when Toby saw like Octavius and Norman and everything and all again, right? It felt like they haven't seen each other in a while.
Mm.
Yeah.
But
And you see that this whole like line about Andrew Spider-Man going rogue and everything for a while, right?
yeah, correct.
That feels like something that happened a while ago.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So it feels like they come from present day 2021
Yeah.
in their universe, while all the others were plucked from the time of their deaths,
yeah, which is why I find that they did well by
except for
address-
Sandman.
Yeah. But I kind of enjoy the fact that they did that so that they addressed that portion, which I think a lot of people hated it. That they wasn't like it seemed like Andrew Garfield get over very quickly in the original movie. But this time around, you'll be like, oh,
I
yeah,
see.
it haunted him.
All right.
Yeah, at least they addressed it. And then when that reaction of him saving MJ, it paid off so well. I love it a lot.
There were a lot of redemption scenes and lines lah.
Yeah, correct.
That's I would say saved Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man and
correct.
elevated Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man.
Yes,
Yeah.
correct.
Yeah, I mean, the parts and elements about each individual Spider-Man that could not be saved were even comically addressed, like Tobey Maguire's organic
web, yeah.
webs.
Yeah, correct.
And Tom basically at that point was a regular viewer like we are, because he asked the question that was on everyone's mind: does it come out of anywhere else?
Yeah. That was quite meta.
Yeah.
That was quite meta.
Like, can you believe that they were actually making small talk for 3-4 minutes straight while
Yeah.
waiting for
But
the villains
that
to
was
show
so
up?
Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like I felt like that's really what would happen if a Spider-Man met another Spider-Man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Met another Spider-Man.
Yeah.
That's basically what I told Ina. I'm like, in all the Spider-Man movies that we watch, just when you think that Spider-Man is chatty enough, wait till you see 3 Spider-Mans chat with each other.
Yeah.
And then the
It's
part where you
non-stop
just,
nonsense.
Like, talking, I have a back issue, and then come help me crack it.
Yeah, it's totally non-stop nonsense.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
it's
yeah.
so
It's so funny.
yeah.
It's so in character.
Mm.
Yeah, the funny thing, another funny thing is how he made that, how Andrew made that jibe about Toby dressing like a youth pastor,
Oh,
and then
Right.
later on he was giving like those like moral advice.
Yeah.
That was quite
Right.
funny. Yeah, that was
Yeah,
quite funny.
I mean, out of all the Spider-Man, he's obviously the oldest, and they don't shy away from that.
yeah.
Like, it's not like they went to de-age him or anything. You know?
Yeah.
It's-
That's why I feel like they came from their present day.
yeah.
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 That means if you think about it, he's been Spider-Man for 20 years.
Mm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
correct.
crazy.
Yeah.
And they are basically Spider-Man of 3 different experience levels. I mean,
Yeah.
if you think
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
in-world experience,
Yeah.
right.
Pretty much.
So maybe Toby has been Spider-Man for 20 years, Garfield has been Spider-Man for 10 years, and Holland maybe 5.
Yeah.
Maybe.
You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Less actually because of the blip.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
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 Even lesser.
Yeah.
What else? Oh, you wanted to talk about how the one character that everyone would overlook, which is Happy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Look, I feel like the scene where like having everybody forget everything. I think the one that really hurt me most was when Happy showed up at May's grave and he didn't even know who Peter was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I would have thought he would at least know that the kid is May's kid,
May's
like,
nephew, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
but he didn't even know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I was like, for MJ and Ned, it was like, oh, okay. Like, but then Happy was like, oh shit,
Mm.
you know, because the guy has been there, you know, the guy has
Yeah.
been there at every single one of his adventures.
But because of the fact that he knew Spider-Man, or he knew Peter Parker's identity after, sort of after Tony Stark has revealed to him. So in a way,
Yeah, Happy knew from a very early point.
He knew when Tony knew.
yeah,
Yeah.
he knew and Tony. But consider the fact that if he has to let everybody forget, he technically has to forget the fact that, you know, he used to be under Happy in a way. So it was even more devastating if you notice the fact that in the beginning he hated him, then he motivated him.
Mm.
No, I mean, not me.
Basically, all the adventures did not happen in Happy's
which
head.
Yeah,
is my
he-
biggest problem with the spell, to be honest,
Yeah,
because it basically somewhat does a soft semi reset of the MCU.
Mm.
Yeah, so where was Spider-Man in everything? You know?
Yeah, like Civil
Yeah.
War, like the Thanos.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'm sure if they went to pull records, okay, so erasing Spider-Man and Parker from everyone's memory is one thing, but does it also mean it erases him from photos, from CCTV footage,
Yeah, exactly.
from digital records? That one we don't know.
Exactly.
Maybe
Yeah.
they will address that,
Yeah.
but I have every confidence that they will find a way to address that and give us a very satisfactory answer.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope so, because honestly, I felt like I know what they were trying to go for,
Yeah.
that he just wanted to end this thing, right?
Mm.
But I felt that wasn't that much character growth for him, because he was just running away from the problem.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like because he wanted Strange to erase people's memories from the start.
Mm-hmm.
A more fulfilling and satisfactory narrative ending for the character would be to embrace the fact that everybody knows he's Spider-Man.
I disagree because for him, right, the reason all this while that he has to keep secret identity, and even if it's an ongoing thing, is that he did not want anyone to get hurt, especially those closest to him. And I think this helped because for Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man, the trigger point of him realizing that he cannot let anybody know was because in the first movie, Ame got hit and Mary Jane got kidnapped. That led him to realize that I cannot let anybody knows who I am. Then for Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man, the trigger point is of course Gwen Stacy's death, because we went from a promise to Gwen Stacy legitimately dead because of him, and everybody, or sort of the fact that Dean DeHaan's character knew who he is. Then for this, it didn't have any. To him, there's no way for him to hide his identity, and now it did, because not only the fact that his friends got affected, cannot even get into MIT, but also the fact
There were
that
consequences.
yeah, the consequences.
They were going anyway. What? They were already going anyway because of what he did at the bridge.
But Aunt May died because of him, and that led to.
Of course, but he would have to live with that thing lah, because in this world he has the Avengers.
But and also at the same time, because of his selfishness, he realized that one of the major reasons is because that whole entire multiverse is pulling in was because it's pulling everybody who knows Peter Parker. And the only way, because if considering Strange is the only one who's trying to contain it, he said that he cannot contain it anymore, and the only way to solve this is everyone must forget.
Yeah, but I find that very hollow. Yeah, I find that a very hollow ending. Yeah.
I do find that
it was a quick fix.
Yeah,
it was a quick fix. It doesn't for me, it doesn't grow his character in any way.
I do
because
find
he just goes back to being the forgotten kid. Although he has to mature, but all the character growth from the past few movies gone.
No, it's still within him. What?
Yeah, it's still within.
Just that the people around him, their growth is gone in a way.
Yeah.
But all that growth is still within Tom Holland.
Yeah, but no point, right? Without.
I guess it's a good chance to re-establish relationships.
Yeah.
Because
starting from the next movie onwards.
Because you see, funnily enough, right? Like, the whole thing with Mysterio could have just been fixed with the Avengers.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. So,
but at the same time, I feel that it helped his character a bit, because initially he didn't want anybody to forget. You bear in mind that was the reason why the whole thing started.
No, he only didn't want the people that was close to him to forget.
Yeah, but he ended up, letting the whole universe nearly going to be collapsing soon. So he made that decision that, you know what, if I want to save the universe, I have to make some sacrifice, which is what you said.
Well, I feel like they shouldn't have even gone to that save the universe thing, because to me personally, that's too big for Spider-Man. Yeah. Spider-Man's all about the little guy.
Yeah.
And he saved the villains in this movie. He sent them back to the universe. I think that should have been the ending. Yeah.
But I guess they also had to establish that Willem Dafoe's Green Goblin is still the biggest villain in all Spider-Man lore.
Yeah. So after they sent him back, that's it. They should have just
Green Goblin is
ended the movie there.
Is the Joker to Spider-Man's Batman.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that they let him be the big bad out of the five.
For sure.
Plus, if you have a classically trained actor like Willem Dafoe on your cast list, why not use him to the max? Right?
Yeah.
It's hard to put Alfred Molina, who is also classically trained, because in the ending of Spider-Man 2, he done good.
Yeah.
And the only reason he's even bad was because the chip broke.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
So he is innately good.
Yes, correct.
I think what makes it even better was because there was so many over the years. There were so many talks about for Andrew Garfield Spider-Man that they need to have a new Green Goblin. They need to have a new normal Osborn, and then MCU they were talking about this. They have the best Green Goblin right in their face because back then he set the bar and no one technically can go beyond his standard and just use him as the legit Green Goblin, and they did, and they really made him more threatening than even during the first movie.
I agree that they made him more threatening, but I wouldn't go so far as to saying that he has been the one and only best Green Goblin, because considering the fact that when the Tobey Maguire film first came out, it was still during the era where superhero films are expected to be campy.
Yeah.
Right. It just came off fresh from the
Batman Forever.
Yeah.
Right.
Batman and Robin in
right.
that
so
period,
so that was the campy superhero film. So thus even Spider-Man, even Green Goblins, even the outfit was I mean it was a mash of realism and at the same time comic book campiness. But in this film, they managed to turn that same Green Goblin plus the power of nostalgia to a really villainous character.
Yeah.
And they actually upped the acting of Willem Dafoe.
Yeah.
But to be fair, he's still the iconic one, if you think about it. In terms of comic book villain.
Comic book villain, I personally think that while I agree Green Goblin is Spider-Man's long-time nemesis, I think I would still prefer Kingpin. I would still prefer Kingpin to be Spider-Man's main villain. But I think there's no right or wrong answer to this.
Correct.
Everyone has their own preference.
Correct.
And that's what's great about comic books, because that's why the one hero has so many villains. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean at one point the Mandarin was Iron Man's main villain.
Yeah,
it was not even anywhere
right.
close to that
That's
in
right.
the MCU.
Correct.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah.
Would have been nice though to see in Shang-Chi to see like just a cameo of Robert Downey as Tony Stark from way back and Tony Leung.
Yeah.
Maybe Tony Leung trying to buy arms or some shit.
Yeah.
You know, when Stark was still in his weapons dealer.
Yeah, actually that would be cool, because
that'd be freaking cool, right?
like maybe he tried to buy arms and Tony said no, so they went to
that started
kidnap
everything.
him.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
That would have been cool.
Yeah. You know what's the one thing that I'm kind of worried about with the considering fact that we know this particular outcome of him forgetting everything, is that remember the time when Iron Man 3 came and what was the so-called resolution for Tony Stark not becoming Iron Man? He went into an operation and took out that shrapnel, right?
Yeah.
And then, shortly after that, during Avengers 2, what did he do? He wore it back again. Do you remember?
Yeah, but it's not physically in him.
Yeah, it's not physically him. But to me, because at that time, the reason why he ended himself as Iron Man was because that was that symbolism. And then out of the blue, he wore back without explanation. And I kind of... And they have been established that, Tom Holland Spider-Man is probably going to be active in other Avengers team up as well.
Wait, what's the link between the whole Tony Stark thing?
I'm talking about this because they just conveniently, when Iron Man or when Tony Stark returned in Iron Man 2 as Iron Man, that's right, Avengers 2 as Iron Man, they just completely smack him back as that, just wear that particular arc reactor and that's it.
But isn't that where his suit comes from?
No, as in, if you know that during the ending portion of Iron Man 3, he took the strap away as a symbolism that he wanted to quit becoming Iron Man. But they just put him back into the suit during Avengers 2, conveniently. So to me, I don't know whether are they going to go to that route again if there's any Avengers team up and they want to bring in Spider-Man. They just conveniently say, all of them remember him again. Like midway through, they just have a throwaway line like in between.
Well,
the years.
I don't really see the parallel, to be honest, because like it's not physically inside Tony's body anymore.
And
but he chose to quit to become Iron Man in Iron Man 3 because that was he took away the shrapnel. Remember, he even blew up the whole entire Iron Man suits for that reason. And then Avengers 2, he not only wore back the suit, and he also created more Iron Man suits. Remember that scene?
Yeah, but because he was he started having those nightmares of Thanos, what?
Yeah.
Okay, so my opinion on what you're talking about is I think you missed the point in Iron Man 3 a little bit, but let me finish. Okay. So I think him removing the arc reactor, not actually, but him removing the shrapnels, does not necessarily mean that he quit being Iron Man. It just says that he now, yes, it's a symbolic gesture to reassure Pepper, but at the same time, it's also to it's a message for himself that he has the arc reactor in his chest now by choice, not because he physically needs it to keep the shrapnel away from his heart. And I think there's also a reason why they saved it to the third movie to do that, because he then will have 3 movies of being Iron Man. So it's now a by choice kind of thing, really. It's a reminder to himself that this is who I am now. I am Iron Man. I have this arc reactor in my chest, not because I need to keep myself alive, but because I choose to be Iron Man so I can protect the people I love.
I think that was the Iron Man 3 was the turning point of Tony Stark moving from being self-centered to more group. Like he wants to become Iron Man for people.
Yes.
Okay.
So if
that was the turning point of him as a hero.
Yeah. So if there was any symbolism, it would be that.
Okay.
Right. It was a message to himself, not like say, hey, fuck it, I quit being Iron Man. It's just no, I quit being the Iron Man for myself.
And
I'm the Iron Man for the people.
And most importantly, being Iron Man is not about the suit. Yeah, for him lah.
Because that's what he said to.
That's why he blew up the suits. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's my opinion
Okay.
on the ending of Iron Man.
I agree with you because a couple of years ago I rewatched the 3 Iron Man movies, and I felt that I liked the third one a lot better than the second one.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me
like
too,
after
actually.
a few rewatches, I was like, hey, actually the third one, it was ahead of his time. Yeah.
Okay.
But then this was with all the added context of the movies after that.
Yes.
Okay.
Like because of how it was received at the time of theatrical release, fans obviously didn't like it. I assume you included.
Yeah.
And then they came out with a few other movies that actually retcon a lot of the mistakes, even to the fact that Shang-Chi also retconned the fact that Travis Slattery was the Mandarin.
Yeah.
So obviously when the movie first came out and it was revealed that hey, he's just an actor hired by Aldrich Killian. Right? Everyone hated that because he then called himself the Mandarin. It was like what the heck? Like why are they whitewashing this? But then they immediately released a shot called All Hail the King, which tells us that it was already in the plans. They already knew what they were doing. It was the point to piss off the fans, to get you hype about the actual Mandarin.
Okay.
Because I felt like, okay, Iron Man 1 was about the armor.
Maybe the weakest was Iron Man 2.
Iron Man 2 again was about the armor. Iron Man 3 was about the man. Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe you can try rewatching with a different
because
mindset.
he spent the least amount of time in the suit.
Correct.
Yeah.
That was the whole time. Yeah.
You do see the suits a lot, and you see a lot more suits, but you
it
don't
was not
actually
him.
see him in the suit.
The suit don't have a man inside. And that was the point. That was the whole point of the show. Yeah, is that the man is more important than the armor.
I think if anything, Don Cheadle was in his own Iron Patriot suit more.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I think you should go and rewatch Iron Man 3.
Okay.
but
Get
try,
a new perspective on it.
try watching it with a different mindset. You might see a different side to it because I think I believe me and you we've watched it a few times.
I watched Iron Man 3 a few times. Yeah, actually I prefer it over the second one.
Same here.
Yeah, I mean second one was just funny.
Whiplash to me is a really weak character, but they have a really strong actor.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Mickey Rourke.
But I mean, if I can, since
You
we're
steal
already
my invention.
since we've already steered so far away, but still under the Marvel umbrella, I just want to say again that Iron Man Mark 5 is my favorite suit. The suitcase, so I just think it's so convenient.
Yeah. Okay.
Like it's in your face, but not really. But then, wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Speaking of suits, let's talk about the Spider-Man suit at the end.
Alright.
Yeah. My God, so perfect,
Classic.
man.
Yeah.
So perfect.
Yeah.
Like the blue, the red. Wow.
What did you think of the shininess of it?
I like it.
Cool. I thought it was cool. It looked
Yeah.
great at night, but I don't know how it looked in the day though.
Mm.
Yeah, because we don't really get to see the suit properly.
Mm.
Yeah, so probably we're gonna have to wait for another movie.
Yep.
Yeah.
For that. Yeah.
You know that Tom Holland is signed on for 3 more movies,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
But the rumor now is it might not necessarily have
Be a
the
Spider-Man
MCU's hand in it.
Right.
Mm.
So Sony,
Could be Sony only.
I'm fine with that actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because even if it sucks, it doesn't take away what is already out there.
Yeah.
So-
yeah.
I think one of the thing I feel that having that suit really made me feel that this is legitimately the Spider-Man that we know, because all
Because
this
he made the suit himself.
partially, but you know, I never liked the MCU suits a lot because it's too tacky.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was too tacky that all of a
Yeah.
sudden they bring him back to the original Spider-Man suits. And I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, that means is the
Yeah.
the handmade Spider-Man suit, so it felt so much better.
It's yeah.
And the explanation of him having that suit is way better than, you know, having him figure out, try to sew some spandex. So now he have existing suit and then he just tone it down.
Yeah, it's like the homemade suit colors, but the new Spider-Man style.
Yeah.
The proper like the skin tight outfit.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's a great suit. It would have been better if we got to see it properly in broad daylight.
Yeah, I was just I,
With
I was
better lighting
no, I
at
was
least.
I was actually hoping for, you know, the Toby Spider-Man-esque like he jump and then there's a slow-mo
Yeah,
and then you
yeah.
can see
yeah,
the suit and then
yeah.
zoom in.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Yeah.
it didn't have that, yeah.
Nope. I mean,
Yeah.
technically there was a slow-mo, but it was more like a silhouette at the foreground of the moon. So
Yep.
so it was a little bit hard, but whatever. Like we know that he got a new suit. Just
Yeah.
that we, like what you said, we have to wait for the new movie
Yeah.
to see it properly.
Yep.
Yeah.
So what was your favorite like visual scene in the entire show?
Visual scene.
I'll go with mine since I already said it in the car,
Yeah.
which is the money shot, the shot where we see all 3 Spider-Man
Yeah, I mean obviously, right?
posing together in the same frame.
Obviously, right?
Yeah, that one is
But what was your other what was the scene other than that? I think I'm going to say the money shot as well. So let's think of something else.
Yeah, I also believe the money
I
shot is
do
the
have
best.
one.
Yeah.
It was the scene where MJ and Ned went to Peter on the roof and they hugged him.
Okay, yeah,
And
that's
the
nice.
silhouette was
That's nice.
really like the lighting was really nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
And it was really heartfelt at the moment. So that was my favorite visual scene. I saw that, I'm like, I might use this as my wallpaper. But it's so sad.
Yeah.
And I think that's the contrast, right?
Yeah.
To come back a little bit to your earlier comment about the Gwen Stacy thing.
Yeah.
I understand that it hurts. I think it hurts too, but that has always been the contrast in most of the Spider-Man mediums.
Yes,
which
correct.
Peter Parker Spider-Man has always been the positive character, but the kind of shit that happens to him is really dark.
Yeah.
But he gives the reader and the viewers
Some hope, yeah.
hope, because no matter what kind of dark shit happens to him, he always finds the positive side of it.
No, I that's what I love about Spider-Man also. It's just that particular story arc. I'm not saying that it was bad. I just don't like it personally because I find that it's like, oh my god, they're just too, I would put it this way, more too hard to digest or too hard to, you know, to, how do I put it this way, process during the time and when I watched it. Yeah, so it's still a powerful scene for me. And I would say that for me, the strongest scene was actually when he realized that Ame is dead, and then he's hugging him, and then, you know, happy he's trying to get him to get out. And then that kind of struggle when everyone is cramming onto him, and then that pain that he has, and then there are 2 scenes, basically that scene and also later on when he stood in front of the J. Jonah Jameson, and then, you know, how much J. Jonah Jameson just hammered him. That was powerful also.
I love that. I like that
Yeah.
one. After he just lost his only kin,
Yeah.
he stood up on the building, and, you know, somebody that he doesn't even know is heaping shit onto him.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's quintessential Spider-Man, right?
Yeah,
Like
correct.
It's
him with the
basically his
mask,
whole life.
his mask off, standing in front of a big screen, and then J. Jonah Jameson just saying shit about him.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was really nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, you know what I thought was a missed opportunity? If Tobey Maguire would have seen that world's J. Jonah Jameson
Yeah, well,
and would have seen a reaction to it.
yeah.
Actually, on the contrary, right, I have a different idea at that time. What if both the Tobey Maguire, J. Jonah Jameson showed up and he saw this.
Himself.
Yeah, he saw himself. I think that is more powerful.
I think that would have been more of a comedic moment.
I don't think that will happen because JJJ doesn't know who Peter is Spider-Man in that universe.
Yeah.
No, but at the same, no, as in both of them suddenly show up together at that point of time.
Oh,
You know, that kind of like, oh, you are here and then you are here. Who are you? And then the reaction that, don't forget, this J. Jonah Jameson is just this kind of conspiracy theory website.
No, he's a proper webcaster. I mean, you see the kind of setup he has.
He's
It's
a
definitely not a one person kind of thing.
No, but it's a rundown.
Like it's a proper company, you know. Like
no, it's
It's those
like you saw the live streaming.
No, it's very conspiracy theories.
Yeah,
but for
conspiracy
some
he has,
reason,
right?
for some reason, he has airtime.
Yeah, he has, but
Yeah.
he's very rundown. If you notice that he's very rundown as compared
I
to
wanted to mention also like
Yeah.
he's not running a proper news organization.
yeah.
Yeah.
While the other one is a legit news
Yeah,
person.
he's a news editor. Because you see, he do the what with the green screen and then the desk and everything so messy. He's not running a proper organization.
All right.
So
Yeah.
you see the reaction like what is happening.
It's probably
to
the
me.
kind like maybe struggling to pay rent kind of.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The amount of people under his employment is quite
No.
a lot though.
It's
Like at some point he even had an assistant and a makeup artist, right?
Really?
Yeah.
no, it's
Yeah.
it's actually reminiscent of the typical there's this real life conspiracy theory website called Alex Jones, and he's also had like this. He struggled to pay rent, but because he got so many people supporting him, and people believe in him, so he also have all this set up. But in reality, he is poor, and he cannot even afford.
Yeah, because it's not even a newspaper. It's just a
not-
website.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
But that's how modern day media works, right?
yeah, correct.
Yeah, well, but
But
newspaper
yeah.
still a thing.
Yeah, but and not to mention,
Yeah.
imagine the J. Jonah Jameson from the, the Tobey Maguire universe show up, and he realized that why is my counterpart so run down and his ego is.
But the thing is, he wouldn't show up because they already established that the only people who show up knows Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Yeah, I know. Which is,
Yeah.
I mean, as in, it's a missed opportunity because I think, of course, they'll have to explain that.
Venom does not know Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
He doesn't. No, he knows. You mean you mean Tom Hardy, Eddie Brock, Venom?
Tom Hardy.
Yeah,
He knows
From?
the mid-credit scene in Venom.
Yeah,
Oh,
but that's not a condition for him crossing over.
Yeah.
The condition for people crossing into the universe, they have to know Peter Parker is Spider-Man.
Yeah, correct.
He knows.
No, he didn't. He only knows after he
He only
crossed.
know after he crossed over.
Yeah.
Let me think. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He knew when he saw the news.
Unless it's the same symbiote.
Mm.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure.
We don't know for
well,
sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you caught that, then I guess that could be one of the loopholes. But
Yeah.
I would say it's one that could be easily overlooked unless people talk about it.
Yeah.
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 Mm.
Yeah. Well, just something random for you guys to know. The guy that appeared in the scene with Tom Hardy, that guy is a actor from Ted Lasso.
Oh, really?
He's one of the football
Oh.
players from
Wow.
the team.
I see.
Yeah, very very funny Mexican dude.
I see.
Yeah.
Okay.
Happy for the dude, man.
But he
Yeah.
can speak good English, right? I
Oh
assume.
yeah.
Okay.
He's quite funny.
Mm.
Yeah, but just happy for the dude lah. I mean, I recall him being like one of those unknown actors that went to England just to find acting work, and then suddenly he got onto an Apple TV show, and then now he's on an MCU show.
Yeah.
It's nice to see people go up in the world like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, okay, so now that I feel that we have more or less covered the entirety of the movie as much as we can, what do you guys hope to see in the next Spider-Man films starring Tom Holland? What do you want to see next? I mean, for me, I've obviously established that I at some point want to see Ned Leeds as the new Hobgoblin. I don't necessarily think we need Tom Holland's own world's Green Goblin right now because I think Willem Dafoe nailed it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah, it will be fun to see a Hobgoblin, and obviously I think at some point I also want to see Miles Morales and I want to see okay, because you see in this movie, right, the fact that they brought back the Tobey and Garfield, it's sort of the senior actors passing on the torch to Holland in a sense.
Yeah.
So at some point where Tom is maybe Spider-Man for like 6 to 9 movies, I would also want to see him pass on the Spider-Man torch to a young Miles Morales.
Yeah, that's right.
What about you guys? Maybe more introductions to other spiders like Ben Reilly.
No.
But I think we are way far from
don't
that.
go.
I don't think we should need to see another Spider-Man unless it's Miles Morales.
I see.
Yeah. Like if you go into like Ben Reilly, Scarlet Spider, Man Spider, all that, it's like too much already. Leave that to the Spider-Verse or something. Yeah.
I think for one thing is I really hope, but they already said that they are going to plan to do a Kraven the Hunter standalone movie. But I really want to see.
Yeah, I thought we would have seen Kraven the Hunter in this.
Yeah, I really want a Kraven the Hunter, sort of like Kraven the Hunter as the main villain rather than his own standalone movie. Yeah, because his character is, to me, is one of those very good characters that can fit well in this MCU in a way.
Yeah.
I think when you give villains their standalone movie, they end up becoming the anti-hero.
Correct.
Which is why I don't
And
like.
I think
But Kraven the Hunter isn't an outright villain also.
Yeah, he's not. But initially, but he has a motive to go against Spider-Man.
Yeah.
And it's a strong one.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Well, I mean, if I were to say this to my girlfriend, her having not as much knowledge of about the comic book lore as we do, she would say that, but that's how the world is, because not everything is black and white, everything is grey.
Yeah.
If anything, even the heroes arguably are grey.
Yeah.
Yeah, of
Just
course.
that they are obviously more well liked.
Yeah.
Of course.
Because they wear colourful outfits.
Of course.
But to me, him being his own movie is not as powerful as him facing Spider-Man, because again that motivation that he has towards Spider-Man is something that I feel right now as a villain is really good too, or pretty strong too. Yeah, and he fits well in the MCU as the character rather than having his own solo movie being an anti-hero.
I see.
Yeah.
So far we've covered a lot of the classic Spider-Man rogues gallery already.
Yeah.
Is there anybody that they've missed out?
Not that I can recall right now.
Yeah.
Dude, we've even covered Mysterio.
Yeah, that's right. A lot, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's always been a Sinister Six, but I would guess we've never actually seen proper Scorpion.
Oh yeah, Scorpion.
Oh yeah.
I mean the character was teased.
Yeah.
But we've never actually seen him
Yeah.
in action.
True.
With the suit. So I would say that's one.
Yeah.
But I don't know how they can do it organically without ending up like the Paul Giamatti's Rhino.
Right.
But-
Well, he can just be something like
And or too similar to the Lizard.
Oh
no,
because
he can always end up being like Spider-Man style, just with that tail. Lor.
or to be exact, he used to be He used to be Venom for a period of time.
Oh yeah. Scorpion
Yeah.
had the symbiote for a period
So
of time.
maybe
I didn't know that.
so maybe that is.
I mean, in if we bring in like Scorpion, then we're going into that. I mean, just remembering from the animated series lah. Then we're talking about like Alistair Smith and Smythe and all that. Yeah.
But-
I mean that'll be interesting because Hammerhead.
Yeah. Correct.
Yeah.
Hammerhead, I feel for the general populace a bit deep cut. But for us, I mean, obviously we're familiar lah.
Yeah.
But if you play the game, I think.
But I mean, it would be nice to see Spider-Man fight some street level villains.
Yeah.
In the movie for once.
Yeah, actually, now that I think about it, I think you're right. I think that the next couple of Spider-Man movies, they need to tone it down. It shouldn't be a world catastrophe.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, correct.
Just maybe like town is fine or city
Exactly.
is fine.
Yeah.
Yeah. Make it a small one. Not say so small lah, but more grounded lah. Yeah. Yeah. Scorpion is great because you can meld the whole like you can put all of that together like they're trying to figure out how Spider-Man came to be and all that.
Yeah.
And then they experiment, blah blah blah, and then you can get Scorpion from that.
Yeah. At least better than his origin where Jonathan
And then
Jameson is the one.
then you have like all the stupid things like the spider slayers, and that's how you can bring Kingpin in because that's what Kingpin was investing in the cartoon.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah. Yeah.
But if you want to bring Spider Slayer, right, you besides Alistair Smart, you need to actually bring in Norman Osborn in the beginning.
Well, you can write it in a way that they're not involved in it.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. But that's a way to bring Kingpin, Hammerhead,
Oh yeah,
Scorpion. Yeah.
maybe they're building that also. With
Yeah.
the introduction of Hawkeye.
We don't know.
Yeah, we will know.
Yeah. We'll see.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Have we more or less covered everything we want to cover for the movie?
I think so.
Yeah, at least the important points I
Oh,
think
actually-
are more or less there.
Actually, we should talk about our feeling the moment we saw the two Spider-Man appearing.
I mean,
Alright.
what can I say? Whole cinema cheered twice.
Yeah. Actually, to be honest,
I did not expect that them showing up would be in Ned's house.
Yeah.
Like I thought, okay, maybe this is the Andrew introduction
Yeah.
scene. Then maybe they're gonna make us wait a little bit longer for Toby.
Yeah.
But what the heck? It was literally like 2 minutes away.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
he was doing that senpai thing. He was looking for the guy.
Yeah.
He was actively looking for it. And when he saw the portal, he knew, okay, I'm coming.
Do you have your suit on? Confidence.
Yeah.
I think Toby as the Spider-Man in this movie is a lot more mature.
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, we theorize that he must have already spent 20 years
Yeah.
as Spider-Man.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he looks a lot more calm and
yeah.
because during the fight, right, especially he wasn't the Andrew Spider-Man was whining throughout the whole fight.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Mm.
but Toby was just like
Like just shut up and get it done.
Mm.
Yeah.
And I like the fact that they really acknowledge the fact that the Amazing Spider-Man is really not is the weakest of
They are self-aware lah.
Yeah, they're very
They are
self-aware.
self-aware.
So
And the
Yeah.
actors are okay with it, so that's cool.
yeah.
I really wish that Toby had more lines with Sandman.
Oh yeah.
Like
yeah,
for example, like Sandman
Uh.
could say something like, "Oh, you are my Spider-Man," you know,
Mm.
because he knows Peter Parker and everything.
Yeah.
You know, even though they showed the actors at the end, but they didn't actually show up for the filming. They were rotoscoped in from the old footage.
I see.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, especially the part like where they finally show Sandman's face and then he
Yeah.
was doing this.
Yeah.
I recognized that scene because I just
Oh,
watched
right,
it was
right,
that
right,
scene in
right.
the underground where he was actually where he touched water and he was melting away,
I see.
but they played it in reverse.
I
and
see.
they
I
make
see.
it
I see. So
obvious
he
that-
wasn't actually there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I am suspecting if it's their voice or not.
right.
Yeah, because I was thinking there must be a reason that throughout they don't show Sandman's face, like the actor's face, only until the end because they found a way to rotoscope him in.
Wait. I don't know. Maybe.
And it didn't
maybe,
look like he
maybe
aged at all.
maybe the actor's not here anymore.
No,
we
he's still
can
alive.
fact
He's
check
still
that
alive.
later.
Yeah, we can
but-
fact check.
Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's still cool to have them.
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
and another thing, missed opportunity to have him interact with Norman
Oh yeah.
because the two of them are the ones that started all of this. Yeah. Toby and Norman.
Yeah.
He did,
Like
but for a little bit.
but not like the because after he got cured, right, all he did was acknowledge Tom Holland, Tom's Peter, and then he was just like, ooh, you know,
No, he
Yeah,
was
he
feeling
just
guilty.
sat
Yeah, he
there
was
like-
he was just feeling
guilty.
guilty, and
Yeah.
he like when it was established that of course Toby didn't die, right?
Yeah.
There could be a bit more interaction because they know each other.
And not only
And
that, they were very close.
They were very close.
Yeah, they were very
Yeah.
close.
Because he was like a son to him. Yeah.
Yeah.
They were close to the point that Harry was jealous, so
Yeah.
yeah.
Correct.
I think it's okay lah. I'm fine with them not interacting. I don't think everyone needed to interact with everyone.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
the thing is maybe they weren't on the same filming days.
Or
There's
to like
a possibility, yeah.
yeah. But I really enjoyed the fact that they also in a way sort of redeemed Jamie Foxx's Max Dillon.
Yeah.
So
Not
much.
just that, he even had his comic book accurate like
Yeah,
facial.
the
yeah,
thing,
yeah. Even though it
Yeah.
was a short
And he's
while.
not blue, so
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
yeah,
wasn't the eel thingy.
that's
Yeah.
already a win-win. But
and then that line, eels, right? Yeah, that was quite funny.
I think the funny line was when he said we have to be careful where we fall.
yeah.
It's either inside a power
Because
stand
if you
or
think about it, not just in Marvel, even in DC, there are a bunch of villains that became villains because they fell into stuff.
something, yeah.
Yeah,
they fell into
correct,
something.
Like even Joker, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I think villains just need to stop falling.
Yeah. And then even the Spider-Man acknowledged that
Mm.
in one scene.
Which one?
Because I think if I'm not wrong, Andrew and Toby were talking, And then Andrew said that he fell into electric eels, and then Toby was like, yeah, that stuff. That happens, right? Or something like that.
Because of salmon.
They make fun of each other.
Yeah, that was quite funny.
Okay, so we're going to end the podcast right here. We believe that we have covered quite a bit. The only thing we did not cover was the second credit scene, which we will not, because we think, one, it's irrelevant to the movie. I mean, a little bit relevant, but we don't want to spoil you and that. So leave you with a little bit something else to go and watch. But again, if you're watching this podcast by the time...
we hope
if you're watching this podcast, we hope that you've already watched the movie, and thus you also know what the end credit scene is. So
hope you stay.
Hope you stay.
Yeah, so don't spoil it for anybody else in the comment section if you are leaving comments. But if you want to chat with us and maybe share your thoughts about this movie, do leave it in the comments, because I think by the time most people are watching this podcast, I hope they would have already seen the movie. But to be fair, we are going to put spoiler warnings, big in the title and even in the thumbnail. So anybody who hasn't watched it should not be watching this unless you choose to, free country, your choice. But nonetheless, we are very happy to be doing this movie review, spoiler full, and I would say this is the movie that has nicely wrapped up our year.
Yep,
for sure, man.
For sure.
For sure.
So we are going to end it right here. If you enjoy our stuff, you can head over to either YouTube or Spotify to catch all of our podcast episodes. And even on YouTube, we have reaction stuff. And even this, as you can see, it's a special video podcast, which we originally agreed not to do too many a year, but we just felt that
it's Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man.
It's Spider-Man. No way.
Yeah.
So we
No way.
don't do it anyway, because we want you guys to see our facial reactions as we talk about it, because we are having a visual is part of the excitement. So if you enjoy our stuff, please go and follow us on all the various channels and leave a comment on our YouTube if you want to chat with us. And I think with that, we're gonna sign off right here.
Yeah. Bye.
Bye everyone.
Bye.